Let's go back to those New York days. What was it? When was the moment that you knew that you wanted to become a singer as well as a dancer? What was the moment?
The moment I knew was I'd gone to a trillion auditions and on Broadway for musical theatre, because I finally figured out that being just a dancer was not going to get me anywhere in terms of paying the rent. So then I decided, well, musical theatre, that's like a steady job. You get paid, union rates. So I started auditioning for musicals, and I could combine singing and dancing, although at the time I didn't have any interest in being a singer.
Yes.
So I started going to auditions and, of course, being rejected again because I was too short. All the women in the chorus were gigantic.
Long legs.
They're really long legs, and I was like a midget compared to them. So I finally went to this audition, and I danced every dance routine, and then they asked me to sing all these songs, and then they made me come back, and then they made me dance with this guy, and then they made me sing another song, and it went on for hours and hours and hours, and I thought, oh, enough already, just hurry up and reject me. And then they didn't say anything, and they said, thanks, we'll call you, the usual thing they always say. And then that night, this French guy called me. He was one of the producers of the show, and he said, well, you didn't get the job. And I said, well, what are you calling me for then? He said, well, we want to make you a star. So, you know, we think that you are really special. And I was like, you do? So they took me to Paris. They were French record producers, and they put me in the studio with all of these like record producer guys, and they suddenly gave me all this money, and they put me in a really posh apartment, and I had a car and a driver, and I freaked out because I went from having nothing to having everything. I'm sorry, is this too long, this story?
No. I'll let you. You know when I drop like that, that's the moment.
Will you start drooling on your tie?
That was for different reasons, Madonna.
No, but...
You didn't like flirting with the older man.
No,
it's safe, isn't
I don't mind it at all.
Good.
And it's a very nice tie, by the way.
Thank you.
Anyway, kind of long story short, I was there for 6 months, and I realized at that time that I did want to be a singer, but I didn't want to be made into a singer. I didn't want to be part of a factory. I wanted to go back to New York and learn how to write music and play an instrument myself without all these rich people behind me pulling my strings like a marionette. I wanted to earn it. So I said, you know, I made up this big fat lie, and I said, oh, I really miss my friends in New York. I'm going to go back and visit them just for a few weeks. And they said, okay, see you in 2 weeks. And I went back to New York, and I never came back. And I'm very grateful to them because they made me realize when I was in Paris that I wanted to be a singer, but I realized that I couldn't be given it. I had to earn it.
But that's a very mature judgment to make, isn't it? And I want
well, I have had moments of maturity in my life.
I'm sure you have. But I mean, for one so young as well, and for one who'd been out of work as well, I mean, the natural inclination would be to grab a hold of something like that and take it on.
But I don't know. I must have had an angel watching over me.
But so you learned how to play guitar, and then...
So I went back to New York, and I rang up this guy who liked me, and he was in a band, and I said, please teach me how to play guitar, and he did, and that's when I started writing music.
Can you remember the first song you wrote?
Yeah, it's really naff. I hope you don't have a recording of it somewhere.
Can you sing it?
Do I have to?
No, I don't know.
I mean, I wrote really dorky songs. It was called Tell the Truth.
Right.
It's a theme, you see.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you a secret, truth or dare, confessions on a dance floor, tell the truth. Obviously, I don't like being lied to.
No. I'm just waiting for the song.
Oh. I was trying to distract you with my witty banter.
Yes, you were. It didn't work.
Okay, well, tell the truth, tell the truth, tell the truth to me.
Very well.
Do it. I'm sorry.
No,
it was better with musical accompaniment.
It's interesting to realise that from that sparked the entire phenomenon that is Madonna.
Yeah.
Absolutely.